Welcome to the Arsenal show. We are live, and it's the post-match reaction of Arsenal's 5-0 victory against Sheffield United. An absolute walk in the park it was, but we made it. We've done it with class. We've done it in style. And Eddie Nketiah gets his first hat-trick for the club. And what a hat-trick it was. 3 different goals, a scrappy one, a lovely little, a quality number 9's goal, takes it out with his feet and slides it with composure. And the third one was an absolute weldy. Definitely contended for goal of the month. Took it out of his feet and smashed it in the top corner. Well done, Eddie. I'm joined by Steve K. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, how you doing, mate? I'm good on this rainy Sunday afternoon. So, yeah, but it was good yesterday, weren't it? I mean, we started off a little bit slow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was getting a little bit frustrated because Sheffield United, from the beginning of the game, they obviously, we knew how they was going to set up, and for a while they was doing it quite well. They was holding that, and I was watching it, and I was getting a little bit frustrated, and at some points I thought is it going to be one of these games where it's going to be difficult to break them down? But once we did get the first goal, and I think just Sheffield United never really had any plans to go forward through the whole game. It didn't look like they had a plan B or any intentions to attack. It was just sort of like a damage limitation sort of thing for them right from when we scored the first goal. But it was good. There was a lot of good performances. And you can't knock a 5-0. I know people are going to say, it was Sheffield United, and you're supposed to hammer these, but it's proved this season that Sheffield United have come up against Man United, they've come up against Spurs, they've come up against Man City, and they've given them games. These teams have only just beat them, so you can't take these teams for granted. But United, it was a weldy in the end that had to beat Sheffield United 2-1. City scored late in the game to beat them 2-1. So we had to go and do our job, and for us to go and win the game 5-0, mate. I mean, you can't knock that. That was a good performance, no matter who you playing, whether it's Sheffield United or not.
100% agree. Really good performances yesterday, and like you said, we did start. It was a combination of us, maybe not. I don't personally feel it was necessarily starting slow. I think it was just hard to break down Sheffield United because, they're not the greatest team in the world, but they did hold in strong. I thought Austin Trusty looked pretty good yesterday. Probably one of the only players for Sheffield United that looked any good, but in that first half, it did hold strong. But I thought they were lucky to not get a penalty before earlier in the game as well. But other than that, it was after we got our first goal, it was just cruise control from then on. Everyone sort of relaxed a bit more. Emil Smith Rowe started to get more into the game and relax a bit more. You start to see probably what the reason why he's starting to get starts, and there was reports earlier in the week that he's looking good in training and he would look likely to get a start soon in the Premier League. And lo and behold, he did get that start yesterday. I thought it was encouraging, especially after the win against Sevilla. And I hope that now we start to see Arsenal in their full stride going on for the rest of the season. I know a lot of people pointed out that Arsenal haven't looked as good as last season, or haven't looked as fluid, or don't look quite fluid. There's something missing. But I likened it the other day to be it a cup competition, like a World Cup or a Champions League. At the moment, this is just a group stage. Get out the group stage. Then later on in the season, you want to start playing well and getting through them games. It's important that we finish off the season well. Like in the past few seasons, we've started the season really strong and then tailed off towards the end. I don't mind if we're just sort of getting the results here and not looking that great. It's going to come at one point. And as long as we're there at the end of the season and fighting strong on all fronts. Let's get on to the player ratings, Steve. As we said, a lot of good performances yesterday. David Raya, it was pretty quiet, but I thought his kicking was very, very good, especially in the first half. He looked very good. What was your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I mean, like you said there. I mean, he didn't have a lot to do, but you know what he did well. You know, he's catching. I think we know it's on point. You know, he did that well throughout the game. His distribution, like you said, especially in the first half, was, you know, excellent, wasn't it? I mean, you know, we've got to point out those two passes where it was like quarterback, weren't he? You know, where he was just pinging it to Martinelli, and you know, if he would have went on and scored from that, then you know, people would be absolutely going crazy. But I think he's getting his props from it. You know, yeah, look, he did everything right. You know, distribution good, handling good. Sheffield United never really tested him in, you know, at all, but that's fine. You know, there's going to be better teams that Sheffield United ain't going to be testing our keeper this season. So I think that's just one of them things. You know, it can happen against top sides that you don't get tested. So I think he did well. So he definitely gets a 7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I think that's fair. 7 out of 10 for David Raya. William Saliba, the Rolls Royce himself.
Yeah, I thought Saliba was excellent. I thought he had a really good game. Again, you know, he didn't have a lot. He didn't have a lot to do. What he did do, he did well. Good on the ball as per. You know, he wasn't put under any pressure. You know, so yeah. Again, I have to give him a 7.
7 for William Saliba.
I think people like when sometimes they do go a little bit over with William. We know I think he's on the verge of world class, if not already. But sometimes I've seen a few ratings, you know, yesterday, and it's like, 9, Saliba 9, it can be 9. You know, do you know what I mean? He had a really, do you know what I mean? It's like,
I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it stinks of the old fanboy thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Saliba gets a 9, Saka gets a 9, and it's like, no, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah. Saliba didn't have much to do at all yesterday, but what he did well, and because he's got that a bit of time, because he's that sort of player, he looks good, and that's what it is. He looks good on the ball. He looks calm. He looks very composed, elegant on the ball. That's why I think sometimes he gets more props than Gabriel, whereas Gabriel would do the same job, or sometimes in the game he'd do more. But because he's more combative, people are seeing that sometimes they might say he's clumsy, or they might see him as could be a bit of a liability. Whereas Saliba does exactly the same thing. It's, oh my God, Rolls Royce, this is what we're saying. It's exactly what you're saying.
No, like, but he is that.
He didn't have much to do yesterday, and what he did well. A little bit like David Raya's performance.
Yeah, definitely. He did everything right. 7, definitely. Yeah.
What's nice? And he's saying it's Sheffield United, and they're going right back down, but it would be a good score. Yeah, it was a good score. Look, this is what I mean. Steve said it earlier on. It is Sheffield United, but there's a lot of teams that have beaten Sheffield United 1-0, 2-1, and it's been quite close. It wasn't even close yesterday. They went to sit in and park the bus, and then when we scored that first goal, it was like just damage limitation from there. They weren't even trying to hit us on the break. They weren't even trying to come out, but we just picked them apart, and I think that's really good practice for us taking on teams in the low block. And yes, it is only Sheffield United in that sitting in deep, but it's still a Premier League team, and a Premier League team sitting in and trying not to concede a goal is tough to break down, and we're going to have to deal with that quite a lot and more often as well, because we're Arsenal. Ray was playing good, but still a little bit of tiredness, so he gets an 8. An 8, bloody hell. Gabriel.
He never played, did he?
Oh, that's Gabriel. It was a video, sorry.
I'll tell you what, he did the job. He was as good as Gabriel yesterday. Really good. He next to Saliba. Really good, really solid. The best thing you can say out of that is we'd never miss Gabriel because, again, look, we keep saying it. He didn't have loads and loads to do, but on the ball, his passing out was good. He when pressured at the very few times he was pressured, but when he was, he had a good turn of pace. He was getting back, and you could see that the switching he was getting into when Zinchenko was coming into midfield. Kior was switched on to go out, into the free. And you could see he was doing that and picking up the ball in the left back position at times, and doing that well and getting back in position quick. He was really good. He was really good, and I'm excited to see how Kior sort of improves as the season goes on. And so I'd like to see him get more game time. I know he's difficult for him to get matches, but if we can play him in like the games against the Lutons and the Burnleys and the Sheffield United and the Bournemouth, all these type of games, I'm all for it, to be honest with you. Because I mean we love Rob Holding. Me and you fans of him. Do you know what I mean? It's great for the dressing room, but Kior's he is an upgrade, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? You can see he is upgrading on it. So yeah, look, big up to him. He was just as good as Saliba yesterday for me. Although he was getting sevens, Kior, and Saliba was getting nines, which was I don't know how they bridges that, because I think they were just both as good as each other. So yeah, look, 7.
He definitely looks much better playing in that centre back role rather than starting on the left back role. And even like you said, when Zinchenko would move forward, he would move into that left back role. He still looked more comfortable in that centre back role, moving to the left back role, where it was rather than he's going to be the left back for today. And I think that's probably maybe a little bit of a psychological thing, because I have seen him play for Poland in at left back, and he looked really. But I think when it was Arsenal, it was just a little bit uncomfortable, because probably maybe he's played more as a centre back previously. But I agree. I thought he played really well. He looked good on the ball, good passing. And I'd definitely like to see him more. Would you start him against West Ham?
I would actually. Yeah, give him another go. Oh, yeah, definitely play him against West Ham. 100%. Keep Gabriel. Give him a little rest this week. Bring Gabriel back in against the big one next week against Newcastle. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, totally.
Zinchenko pulled back into the game. And he looked a lot better, even defensively as well.
I thought he was really good, mate. I really did. I absolutely hammered him last week, but I thought, deservedly so. I thought, he should have been dropped, come rested, whatever it may have been in the week. Tommy Ayew come in and did the business. Some might have said that keep Tommy Ayew in. Could have been a shout for that, but Zinchenko come in, and I thought he was absolutely outstanding. To be honest with you, forget the opposition. I'm not one for in oppositions. I've already explained that Sheffield United can give Cities and Uniteds and Spurs games. So I'm not into it was the position, the opposition. He was excellent, mate, in everything that he did. The way he was excellent coming into the midfield. He was asking questions of our forwards. Whether they was making the right runs, but he was playing the ball into the channels. He was getting into the box. Defensively, he was sound. I don't remember any mistakes from him. He had a very, very good performance. And yeah, look, I'm going to give him an 8, because I thought he was more involved in the game than probably our other defenders was. He was, and what he did was top notch for me. I don't remember anything he did wrong. I thought he was excellent. It's good to see him back. Hopefully that give him some confidence for I'm saying that there's a shout to bring Tommy Ayew in against Newcastle because of these defensive abilities and Anthony Gordon and Almiron and whatever, because they're dangerous. But Yeah, that's I don't know, but he was excellent yesterday. I'll give him an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 for Zinchenko. Ben White.
Yeah, look, I tell you what, Ben White wasn't far behind Zinchenko for me yesterday. He was getting a lot more forwarder. Again, that keep being guilty of saying it, whether that was because of the position and he's just told them by Arteta to get more forward, but he was helping out. You seem to see him more further up the pitch, maybe because that he wasn't getting tested defensively because of who he was up against. But what he did well, he was unlucky with a shot.
Lovely volley.
The beautiful volley. I think he was that little bit of a higher, played better than what Saliba and Kior did yesterday. Whether he was at Zinchenko level yesterday, probably not. So it's in that 7.5 and 8 in the middle. I'm going to give him a 7, but I do think he was better than Saliba and Kior, but just a bit below Zinchenko. But we don't do halves, do we? So it'd have to be a 7, I'm afraid, Ben.
All right. Ben White, it's a 7. Yeah, I thought he was good yesterday. Volley, it's unlucky. It's good save. Excellent technique on the volley as well. Declan Rice.
Yeah, he's had a lot of plaudits again. Fantastic performance. Got his assist. Got a bit dodgy early. Couple of loose balls, give him away. And I was thinking, you hope you're not going to have a bad one today, Declan. But he got over that, and very quickly. And then just grew into the game, and he was just immense in the end. Just controlled the midfield, as I say. Getting forward. It was interesting to see the way we were set up yesterday. He's obviously started as number 6, but again, he seemed to be a lot more, forward thinking, even in the 6 role yesterday. Which was interesting, to be honest with you.
Well, he's got that license when Zinchenko moves into that middle, so Zinchenko will drop into his position.
Yes,
he moves into the 8, doesn't he? So he has got a little bit more freedom, but he does have to think.
Yeah,
Kai Havertz is going to probably be the one who's going to be more forward. But again, Kai Havertz is quite unselfish in that he will stay in and drop in as well. So it's good balance. We've got good balance. In terms of that, it's just them working together more cohesively and knowing how each other plays, knowing where we're going to be, and that'll just come with time. Yeah,
definitely. And so, he was masterful in the midfield there. Rice again, 8.
8 for Declan Rice. Midfield partner yesterday, Kai Havertz.
Look, I mean, he wasn't involved in what some people want to see him do. They want to see him assist goals. They want to see him score goals. I don't think he's going to be that type of player for Arsenal. He does a lot of the unselfish work for me. I was watching him yesterday, and he does a lot of dropping in when people need to go into other positions. He's very strong. He holds off the ball. He very rarely gives the ball away. His movement's excellent. He takes players out of the game, which allows our other players to go into other spaces. He gives us something. Something different that I don't think Arsenal have had before. He's a very different type of player. And I think as games are going on, I think what you'll find is that although probably the fluidity won't be as much as there, we will be much more harder to beat, and we will get, in the end, you'll find that the possession stats that will be even higher than normal because of players like Kai Havertz doing the unseen work, if you like. Obviously, it'd be great for him to get an assist. It'd be great for him to get the goal. There was part of me that wanted him to take the penalty, and I was praying that he nearly got a goal. He made an excellent run, towards the end of the game then, and it just went into the side net, and I was like, I was praying everybody wanted that to go in.
And there was the other opportunity where he nearly got put through as well. I don't know whether anything come off it anyway, but someone tried to put him through, but he got blocked and coming for the cross. So he's getting in the positions. I think previously those balls weren't even being attempted to get to him, and I think it wasn't just Kai Havertz. It was I've noticed it in games where Declan Rice was making runs and the ball hadn't gone to him, and I do think it's players getting used to where they should be, who's going to be there at certain times, just know each other's play.
I'll give you an example. There's Darren Bent, big Arsenal fan on Talk Sport. When Arsenal bought Havertz, he said that he didn't fancy him, didn't like him, he wasn't sure about him. I don't know, wasn't too sure why that, and he's, rank Arsenal, Darren Bent. And he said the other day he watched him play, and he said, I'll take it back. He said, because when you watch him live, if you watch him properly, he does things off the ball that are so clever. And that's come from a professional footballer, not from someone who's giving their fan cam after a game. Right? Yeah. So when you see these stupid marks, when they're giving him 5s and 6s and other 7s, remember what people who are watching him say.
There's no way he got a 5 yesterday. No way he got a 5 yesterday.
He got a 6. He got 6 off some. He's got a few 6s. But again, that's lack of knowledge. That's lack of not watching. That's lack of it. So, but yeah, it was interesting to hear him say that because he's hammered him before. Mm-hmm. So, but he actually went to the game, watched, and then said that, which big up to him because it's something that I've thought for quite a while now. That he just gives something to Arsenal different. Just because he doesn't score or doesn't assist, it doesn't mean he's had a bad game. Sometimes you need players. We had Gilberto Silva in the Invincible years, got absolutely hammered, slaughtered for years. What does he do? He don't do nothing. He don't score. He don't assist. He's one of the greatest Arsenal players ever, midfield players, big MD we ever had. Now they're saying, Gilberto Silva. Just got to watch. But yeah, look. I'll give him a 7, and similar to like Kior, he's got to play. He's got to play Wednesday. Playing Wednesday.
Yeah, I think he has to play Wednesday. In that same position as well. I'd like to see him in the 8 as well.
Yeah.
I'd liken Havertz's time so far to Ødegaard's first season on loan at Arsenal.
Yes,
where people were quite underwhelmed by the stats that he was putting up because he didn't score many goals. They complained that he didn't score many goals. He did a lot of the work before the key assist. He would link up play pretty much like he's doing now. Obviously, he's a lot better than it now. But I think over time, by the end of the season, I think he'd be a lot more relaxed. He'd be a lot more comfortable and you're already seeing him try passes around the corner and things like that. So I think it's only a matter of time before he actually does start getting them goals coming in, start getting those assists. Because I think he's been unlucky with the assists as well. Because I think there's been opportunities in earlier games in this season where he could have got an assist, but the ball was in the back of the net. Or a ball could have been cut back to him for a tap in and it wasn't cut back. So I just think over time, we'll see that Kai Havertz is going to be a good signing at Arsenal. You're already seeing him a lot more relaxed in games, and he's just. I don't think people can pick out too much. I think the one thing that people are saying is they want more from him, but that's just on them. If he's giving what Mikel Arteta wants, then he's doing the job. Them them saying they want more from him, that's just an opinion, and I think it's right. I think it's more the fact that he's come from Chelsea and he's already been in the Premier League, so they've had that judgment on him. But I don't think that's a fair judgment to have, considering at his time in the 3 years he was at Chelsea, he's been under 4 different managers. Yes, one of them was interim, but still 4 different managers in 3 years at a club is how you meant to settle, and it was in a team that was doing poorly at the time. So I think we should make our judgments for Kai Havertz in his time at Arsenal and give him till the end of the season until we can really make a real concerted opinion. All right, one comment in the comment section. don't you think we should be getting? Look at that. Don't we should get him more out of our money for what we paid for the Kai Havertz? Exactly what I just said. That's on you. And
but like Russ, look, sorry, mate. Yeah, I mean, no. I just like to ask Russ, mate. I hear what you're saying. I know what you're thinking, but like, what exactly do you want from him? What exactly are you say we want more for our 65 million? What do we want more from our 65 million to do? You know, if he's playing in the number 8 position, which is basically why Arteta mainly bought him. You know, because Xhaka went and Havertz came in, and the plan was to for Arsenal to play a different way, but with Rice and Havertz. I think that's what he wants to do. I think in the long run, that's his plan. Because it's a lot of money to pay. So if you're taking it from that he's playing in that number 8-ish position that's sort of circles around that area, what are we asking from him? You know, it'd be interesting to know.
I think it's a fair question. What is it you want more from him? Okay. Gabriel Martinelli.
Yeah, Martinelli was good. You know, he was good. Always dangerous. Yeah. I get a bit frustrated with Martinelli sometimes. With his I don't know. He falls over a lot. I don't know how to put it. I wish he would get. You know, he gets. I don't know if he's playing to the shit housery, but yeah, I don't know. It's just something it gets to me a little bit. But I love Martinelli, and he was a constant danger. He always is. Yeah, 7, I think.
7 for Gabriel Martinelli. Emil Smith-Rowe got the first start of the season yesterday. So Emil Smith-Rowe.
Yeah, no, I mean, so glad he got his start. It was good to see him back in the side, and yeah, look, he never let himself down. He played well. He did play well. He was a little bit similar to Havertz in the sense of that he was doing a lot of dirty work in the game, a lot of unforeseen work. You know, winning the ball back, that was impressive. You know, he was getting his foot stuck in. You know, his passing was good. Yeah, it was a good performance. He got his assist in the end. You know, which was nice for Eddie Nketiah's third goal. And a good performance again. It was good to see him. He's playing a different role. You know, it wasn't so much a sort of a forward attacking offensive role. It seems to me that, you know, Arsenal are playing a different way. The emphasis is sort of more put on the player whoever plays in the 10 and the wingers and the forwards to do with Declan Rice coming more forwarder. Whether that's it seems to be like Rice is a bit of a smoke screen there, as if he's the one who's the danger coming forward more than anybody else in that midfield. Which is good because in the long run, you know, you hope that he's going to get in the box more, get more assists, got goals, and he's getting goals this season. But Smith-Rowe, I thought was excellent. Definitely, again, similar. I hope he gives him another start on Wednesday. Yeah, probably did a little bit more of the seam work, if you like, than what Havertz. As I say, Havertz was more work for the team, if you like. But then saying that, Smith-Rowe's working hard for the team as well. Different roles, but a good performance. You know, something that, you know, I think Arsenal fans have got to look at and think that, you know, maybe Havertz and Smith-Rowe are going to be doing different type of things, you know, and stop looking at they haven't scored or they haven't assisted or, you know, stop looking at that. The Arsenal are shaping up different. They're playing different. They're lining up different through games. That's how it seems to me. So you're going to see different roles from them, you know. So yeah, look, I thought he was good. bit similar to a Ben White performance, I think, where he was a little bit over the 7s, but I'll give him a 7.
7 for Smith Rowe. Russ says, I don't know what I want from Havertz. I don't think he has a favoured position or whether he's going to utilise correctly. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say you want more from Havertz if you don't know what you want from him. Like, it's a tough one. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're at a dead end there, aren't we? Yeah. I personally think I'm seeing more tenacity from Kai Havertz. When I first saw him play for Arsenal, especially in the Premier League, he just looked like he just didn't want to make a mistake. He just kept it very, very simple, sometimes overly simple. And I think that he's getting more confident. And I just think it's going to take time. I think the life sucked out of him at Chelsea. Honestly, was by the end of it. It's one of them clubs where if you're in favour, you're in favour. You're the king. But if you're not in favour over there, they soon let you know very, very quickly. Videos are out everywhere. Some of them are vile. Some of their fans are vicious, and they go out of their way to let you know that they don't like you.
Yeah.
So, and for a young kid who's probably very well aware of social media, I'm pretty sure he knew what some of the Chelsea fans that didn't like him had to say.
Yeah, he won them their Champions League, though. Remember, so they should give him a little bit more respect. But we just come to expect that. Chelsea fans are scum. End of. Fucking end of. I've just know how many times have I been on about Chelsea and how much I hate the club. Whether it's a pundit, whether it's a journalist that I deal with during the week, whether it's a fan, or just scum.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Look, it ain't all of them. There's some good ones, so it's not everybody, but there seems to be a very large majority of them who are just, like you said, nasty, very nasty. And it's not a good look. But with Havertz, it's difficult because I know what a lot of fans are thinking. They want to see him score goals. They want to see assists. But how many players? You can't always score goals. You can't all assist. Do you know what I mean? If that was the case, we'd be scoring 130 goals a season or something. If you've got like Nketiah stroke Jesus up front with Martinelli on the left, and then you've got Saka on the right, and then you've got Odegaard behind, and then you've got Declan Rice who likes to bomb forward and can score. Someone's got to sit deep. Someone's got to move into the space. Someone's got to ping the ball off to these players. Do you know what I mean? It's not like Havertz is the out ball where let's hit Havertz. Go Havertz. That's not it with Arsenal. Arsenal don't play that way to Havertz. It's not like it's right. Odegaard, go. Saka, go. Martinelli, go. Jesus, go and do your stuff. It's not Havertz. Here you go, boy. Go and roast them. Go and do. It's not. He plays a different role.
Yeah.
And you have to look at what he's doing. And that's deeper. And that's giving the ball to these players so they can do their thing. It's moving into the spaces so then players can do their thing. If he's doing all that, he's contributing to the team, and he's paying the 65 million paying back by doing that.
I do think we get stuck on valuations because it's just like we've got to understand, like, people know we've got money, and when you're trying to buy a level of quality which is going to be able to come into your team and not bring your level down, then you've got to pay for that quality. Now, people question the 105 million for Declan Rice. People question the 50 million for Ben White. People question a lot of these price tags that Arsenal paid for players. But the majority of the time, I'd probably say 90% of the time, these price tags are paid off. The signings that Arteta gets criticised for, how much do they cost? Cedric, 2 million. Willian, 3. Sabi Lakonga, 15 million. Like they're few and far between, and they're not big. They're not big price tags. So I feel that when he's going to spend money, he knows what he's buying, and he rarely gets it wrong. He rarely gets it wrong.
Well, there was all having a go at Ramsdale, weren't they? I mean, I know what's happening in Ramsdale now, but Ramsdale, everyone was popping. Ben White, people were having a go at. And probably a lot of others. Oh, we play too much for Declan Rice. He ain't worth that. It goes on with these players that he continuously proves everybody. Oh, Arteta ain't the right man. He finished 8th, and how many times has this guy got to prove you wrong for him to sort of like? And then after 8 games, people are like calling out Kai Havertz. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
still, it's ridiculous.
I think he's gonna. He was always gonna split opinion. Kai Havertz. I think people's opinion on him is less harsh because he's not actually doing anything wrong. I think it's more the case what Russ is saying is they just want more. But like what you said, what do you want more? And I think it's again what you were speaking about earlier when you said it's goals and assists, and I think that will just be a case of time. As I said, it's more about players getting to know where each other are, positionals, and finding that right ball. Kai Havertz had an opportunity to get at least 2 or 3 assists this season on top of what he's already got. He had the opportunity yesterday to be put through, and it didn't get put through. I just think it's going to be a matter of time.
I mean, Xhaka,
in the right place at the right time.
Xhaka was at the club for whatever how many years, yeah. And under Arteta, he became a different player altogether.
Mm-hmm.
More or less since he came there, Arteta knew what he wanted. Probably got that from Wenger because Wenger always thought he was number 8. I mean, let's say like Xhaka at his pomp, if you like. What was his best season? 7 goals, maybe 5.
Yeah, Xhaka's best season, I think, was last season, and he got a fair few goals and assists. But that's his best season in what his 6th season at Arsenal.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're bringing in Havertz, what do you want after 8 games? And the fact is, Arsenal were playing in a different way. There was more fluid, so Xhaka is going to get forward more. It wasn't Thomas Partey. We've got Rice now who can get forward. So, yeah, I mean, it's like when Thomas Partey was a regular. Was we saying, "Oh, we want more assists from Thomas Partey. We want more goals from Thomas Partey"? No, we wasn't, because we had other players to do that. Now Thomas Partey is sort of like not there, if you like. Not getting game time for whatever reason. It's, we're calling out. Everybody can't score goals and assists. It just doesn't work. It just if you had everybody doing that, then the team would be unbalanced, and you'd probably end up losing more games. So, yeah, it's just. I think people just need to calm a bit and not get carried away.
In Xhaka's first. We'd say half season under Arteta, he got 2 assists and 1 goal. In his first full season under Arteta, he got 2 assists and 1 goal. And in his 3rd season under Arteta, which was his best season, I think overall, he got 7 assists and 7 goals in the Premier League. 9 goals and 7 assists in all competitions, so 16 goal contributions all over, which is why he got so many plaudits last season, because he was excellent last season, one of our players of the season. But you're asking a lot of Kai Havertz to come in and do those numbers. A lot. That's crazy numbers for a centre midfielder to hit those numbers. 17 goal contributions in all competitions. Like,
in a fluid Arsenal as well.
In a fluid Arsenal, I think we should be looking towards those numbers that he hit in his first season, in his second season under Mikel Arteta, which was more like the 2 goals and 3 assists, and I think he'd get more than that. So
I think it's because Chelsea put him up centre forward, and they're looking at the Chelsea thing.
Yeah,
Chelsea made an arse up. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't a centre forward.
He wasn't a centre forward.
They haven't got a centre forward now.
Yeah, towards the end of his time at Bayer Leverkusen, he played some games at centre forward, but the majority of the time he's played as the number 10. And
Yeah.
he's always seen as the new Ballack, the new Tony Cruz. He was in that light, the AM centre that comes that's by Leverkusen. He was that player, and played it in a multitude of positions in the midfield, not necessarily in the other forward role. Sheepo, good to see you back. Best Sunday afternoon surprise. How is everyone? Very, very good,
mate.
Very, very, very good. Good to see you back. Bukayo Saka.
I didn't think he had a great game again, really, to be honest with you. He was all right. Again, not enough for me. Again, from Bayer, a pretty quiet game again. I'm trying to think. I mean, he played like the ball into Rice, who put it through to Nketiah for the goal. Other than that, he tried to get behind the defence in the second half a little bit more, pushing forward. But again, I've got standards of Bukayo Saka, and I'd be interested to hear your one on this. But it's again looking at him, and I do try when I watch a game to sort of really concentrate on every single player and what they do. And again, nothing of really any great note. And again, there is a little bit of I expect more from you, Bukayo, because I know what you can do. So I'm going to give him a 6. And I just need. He just don't. Again, similar to Odegaard. You know what I mean? He's just not. Come on, you had probably had 2 best players, and you're 5s and 6s at the minute, which is, and maybe that's the reason why we're not as fluid, and because them 2 ain't on it at the minute, really.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's the worst thing in terms of 2 of our best players not being on it, and we're still getting results and putting 5 away against. Although, say being Sheffield United,
definitely,
it's not the worst thing. I think he was better than we've seen in previous weeks. I think in previous weeks he's been poor.
I
thought it was quite quiet yesterday, but he was trying other things. I think he was getting on, moving to the other flank. I think we could be seeing a Bukayo Saka that's not necessarily just tired or needing a rest and whatnot. I think it's a part of his development. I think he's trying different sides of his game. I think he's probably just trying to sort of find himself again. Because when you're in the limelight as much as he is, and devastating by taking on players and getting down that flank, I think after a certain while you're going to start reevaluating your game and trying to play different ways and do different things. And I think he'll be back soon. I don't think he's too far off. Like I said, he had, in previous weeks, most recently, he's not just been quiet, he's been poor. And it is only the second game of the season where he hasn't contributed to a goal, which is crazy.
When you think he's been bad and he's like contributed in 6 goal contributions in 7 games, you think to yourself, wow, he must be on fire. And I heard that stat yesterday while watching the game. They brought it up, and I was like, he's playing really great at the moment. The commentator said it's 6 out of 6 goal contributions, and I'm like,
no,
but he ain't playing well. He's not playing well.
And I think there was an element of that last season, because I think there were games where Bukayo Saka would be not poor in a game, but just be quiet in the game, and then get a goal and assist, or come up with 2 goals towards the end of the game, and then you'd hear commentators or fan cams afterwards saying, "Oh, this is what we're talking about. This kid's world class. He's well," and I'm like, we watched the same game, because I thought he was pretty quiet, and then came up with 2 bits of quality. And I know what people say. Oh, yeah, but world-class players can be quiet in a game and just turn it on and put in. But that's not what he was doing. That's not what he was doing.
It was a good.
He was frustrated in games, or he was making the wrong decision, and that's what I'm talking about. moving up into that level. And I think now people have quietened down a little bit on the world-class talk. They've got a bit excited and they've realised this is still a young player that's developing and learning his game.
Well, you called it, to be honest, because I was guilty of last season because he was outstanding last season, wasn't he? He was incredible, goals, assists, and I was the guilty of that. Oh God, this if he ain't world class, he's like, whoa. And I was guilty of that. But you was one that was even then you were calling out. You were saying, yeah, look, we know what he's doing. We know how great a player he is, but he ain't there. And I must admit, I was a little bit, I don't know. I think he might. But you were spot on, to be honest with you, because he's not there. And I can hold my hand up now and saying I got a little bit carried away. But you called it. I don't know how far he is away. But he's not there yet. He's not there.
It's just about consistency for me, Stephen. I think it's more about. I compare it to other players which were undoubtedly world class and continued that level above and beyond until the end of their career. And I think a part of it is also me sort of cradling Saka and trying to protect him from the vultures ready to slam him down. Because when you talk about a world-class player, it's open season for them to be criticised on every single thing they do. He's not doing this, he's not doing that. And Saka ain't ready for that. He's not there yet. He don't need that. He just needs to develop his game and still play with a smile on his face. Because if the vultures get onto Saka and they start scrutinising his game, he will be obliterated because they would be talking about he doesn't impose himself enough on games. He doesn't take the game by the scruff of the neck. He doesn't take on enough players enough. He keeps on dropping in and passing sideways because that's what his game is at the moment. But I think that's just a part of how do I get on being double marked? How do I get on being hacked down all the time? How do I get on people just fully focusing on me or a midfielder drawing on that side? He's got to develop his game. Previously, Saka weren't being doubled up by defenders. For the first thing Saka had to deal with was being hacked down every game. 5, 6, 7 times a game. We were complaining when he was first being recognised as a talent. This kid gets hacked down every game. He's dealt with that. He rides the challenge more. He passes it off sooner so he doesn't get hurt anymore. Then it was he's getting doubled up on. Now he knows how to do that. Ben White overlaps. He drops in. And now they know that he drops in. So he's got to just change his game up again.
Yeah.
The better he gets, the more aware that people are of his game, the more that people are going to be putting in extra hours behind the scenes to work out what he does in games. And the harder it is for Saka to take these players on. That's just a part of his development. That's what's going to make him a better player when he does that. It's just about time.
I think maybe the loss of form of Odegaard maybe not don't help. The fact that just a small part of it where they're so good together, those two, aren't they? On that right hand side, because Odegaard tends to do a lot of his work over there. So there's that. But you're right. Sometimes we get a little bit carried away, or even other fans get a little bit carried away. I mean, there's the argument recently, a couple of days ago, that Arsenal have got like 4 world-class players. They say, it's Saka, they say Odegaard, they say Declan Rice, and they sort of say Saliba. I argue that maybe Saliba and Rice are probably that little bit closer to world-class and probably than what Odegaard and Saka are.
Yeah.
That's a debate. People will say different, but I perfectly think you could call those two are sort of a little bit more closer to saying these two were getting any team in the world without any shadow of a doubt, wherever they would go to. Where Odegaard and Saka maybe just need to do it more consistently, like you said.
Yeah, and the only thing that's stopping us firmly calling any of these players world class, and it goes for all of them, is time. And it's time and consistency. And if we see these players over time putting consistent performances at the levels that we're getting plaudits at now, then we're talking about world class. That's what I call a world class player. Someone that can do it over 2 or 3 seasons, consistently at a high level, all the cliches, grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck, turning it on when he's been quiet for a game, just producing a bit of magic. That is the world-class player.
Declan Rice.
But again,
Yeah.
now we're seeing Declan Rice do it at a higher level in a better team. Now in the Champions League, he's going to get better. He's already getting better as a player. Now we see that consistently over 2 seasons with Arsenal. There's no doubt about it. We're talking about a world-class player. 100%.
West Ham
He's not going to
fans
get any worse.
West Ham fans are saying now that Declan Rice was older. No, Declan Rice was holding us back. We're glad we got rid of Declan Rice.
Yeah, I heard that one.
We was happy. We've got and Declan Rice was holding us back, and
the other one was Declan Rice is as good as he is now at Arsenal as he was at West Ham. When Declan Rice has already openly said that he sees the game in a completely different way than he did previously, because Mikel Arteta has opened his eyes to the different way of playing football. So he's obviously a different player than he was at West Ham, but you can understand they're still hurt. And up top, Eddie Nketiah, he gets his criticism. He has his critics, and to be fair, in recent weeks he has not been good enough. When we're talking about levels, Eddie Nketiah in recent weeks has not been good enough. But yesterday, man of the match, he was absolutely outstanding. Hat-trick hero. That last goal is, and rightly so, is being talked about by a lot of people in the same way as any other striker in the world if they was to score that. Thoughts on the game yesterday, Steve?
Well, first it gets 10 out of 10 for yesterday's performance. we could have a show on Eddie Nketiah, maybe Tuesday. I don't know. We could have the Eddie Nketiah debate show because again, me and you.
He'll be back in a second. We've been here before. No, I think with Eddie Nketiah, he gets his critics, and rightly so, to a certain extent. But sometimes people are overly harsh. Go on, Steve. Carry on.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, nice one. Look, I mean, me and you have always been in the camp of, big fans of Eddie's. There's many Arsenal fans who are not saying that we should get better. I think that just quickly on that, where I am at the minute, if Gabriel Jesus continues to play like the way he did in the against Seville, that that type of performance, then and Eddie Nketiah can do what he did yesterday, then for me, we don't need another centre forward. And I know a lot of Arsenal fans will go at me at that. So then you have to evaluate, what Eddie does. And I still hear people say, "Oh, he's not consistent. He don't do it all the time." And I think that's very harsh, very, very harsh. But look, because for me, he does. All right, I was hearing people say, "Oh, he didn't play well in that game," but he'd always score in the next game. Or when Jesus is injured, he come in, he stands up. He's done that for years now. He's done it all the time. That's why he signed him on this big new contract, because he knows he does it. He's seen his stats. So but look, so that's a show really on Eddie. But I think yesterday I thought he was absolutely outstanding. Not only his goals, it was an excellent finish for the first goal. Lovely touch, lovely turn, buried it. After Declan Rice played it into him. Second goal, I mean, showed his strength and absolutely bulleted it in the top corner. It's fantastic. Again, and the third one, I think was a goal of when you've played a game like that for 80 odd minutes, then when you get the ball and you're looking at that, and it was funny because the stream I was watching it on literally went off when Eddie Nketiah shot. So the ball was in midair and the goalkeeper was like, so I didn't know if it had gone in. So I'm looking at the screen, and I'm looking where the ball was, and I'm looking where the hand was, And I'm like, oh, so I've had to come out the stream, go back, and I'm thinking, that's in. It was like spot the ball.
Yeah. Spot the ball. That old game.
Right?
Yeah.
Did it go in or not? So I can see the bar, I can see the ball, and I'm thinking, when I get the stream back and I switch back on, that's in the back of the net. And when I did, it was in the goal. So I even judged it, but it was a great goal. And yeah, I mean, his movement throughout the game, his work rate, he didn't put a foot wrong. I mean, the heady haters, where are they now? Do you know what I mean? Where how can you like? For me, you just, again, we spoke about this before. You know, we keep hearing about Ivan Toney. We keep hearing about other players. For me, you don't spend. I don't think we need to spend that massive 60, 80 millions and put someone in else on a 5-year contract, which is what they would want if we bought someone to come in and then to try and play the Arsenal way when you've already got Jesus and Nketiah. It makes no logical sense. None. For wages, for the fee, for the squad of the team, for the fact that it just doesn't make sense to me that I genuinely don't think we were going to bring one in. I don't know. I know about all the links and that. I genuinely believe that we will not be buying a striker. It doesn't make logical sense. It just does not make logical sense. I know it does not.
It doesn't make sense to bring in Tony for me. I see him going to someone like Tottenham. Tony doesn't make sense. What is Tony going to do to the end of the season after being out for 8 months? What is he going to do for Arsenal? He's not even going to be match fit. It's going to take a month or so to get to match fitness, and then he's got to learn how to play Arsenal's style of play.
There's no guarantees, is there? There's no guarantees.
60 million? Nah, not having it. Not having it.
Do you know what made me laugh? Arsenal fans got excited because on social media, whether it was on Instagram or something, Tony put up a post, a video of him scoring against Arsenal. So Arsenal were going, whoa, he's coming to Arsenal.
Yeah.
For me, that tells me he's going to Spurs. I mean, I'm like, Arsenal? Why are Arsenal fans looking at Arsenal in scoring against Arsenal and they're thinking that he's going to go Arsenal? I would be thinking, well, I'm going to Spurs. Because he's scoring against Arsenal, he's putting a video up. And the fact that the guy's changed his agent to CAA base, which every single Tottenham player under the sun is under.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Every one of them. And guess who else is under CAA base as well, who he's changed them over to? Ange Postecoglou.
I think go.
So come on. Yeah. Come on. Stop like trying to make false things at what they are, because for me, I'm with you. I don't know. We may even win the stay to Brentford during the summer. But for me, it's got Tottenham written all over it. It's got Tottenham written all over it.
I agree. Trossard came in for Martinelli yesterday.
He did. He looked sharp. Again, we said last week, didn't we? He scored that at the goal, didn't he? Excellent finish. Who was it? Was it against Sheffield? Oh no, Chelsea, wasn't it?
Yeah. Chelsea.
When he scored that goal against Chelsea, and he's looked sharp when he's coming on off the bench. And again, he looked sharp yesterday as well. So
gets a start against West Ham.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah.
I think these games are coming quite fast at the moment, and it's really good for those other players because they're going to feel like they're a part of it. And especially, I do really like the way that he did made a lot of subs yesterday. Started players that weren't really getting games. I really didn't expect him to start Jacob Kiwior, so it was good to see him start. Jorginho's played some games this season. Everyone seems like they're contributing to this team. And the fact that we've got West Ham, another tough game on Wednesday, it'd be good to see some of these other players get some minutes as well. What are you giving Trossard?
Yeah, a substitute 7.
I think that's fair. I think he looked sharp. He was very influential in the game. He was just always on the ball. He was very tidy. He's just I just really like Trossard. He's a really good player to have in the team. He reminds me a little bit of Santi Cazorla, maybe not as. Santi Cazorla was more of a centre midfielder. I thought when he was at his best. And Trossard is definitely, I think, his best position is on that left, so he can cut in and that's an option to move into the middle as well. But he's just good on both feet. Just a very a little magician. I like to say. Tomiyasu gets his first goal for Arsenal. Everyone looked very happy to see him score, didn't they?
Yeah. Look, no more happier than he looked, to be honest with you. The smile was like beaming, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We love Tomiyasu, don't we? Do you know what I mean? I mean, he's like coming a little bit of a cult hero, doesn't he?
He is. It's because he's an honest player, isn't he? He puts in a shift.
Yeah, exactly that, doesn't it? He comes on and he can. You think when he comes on, although he's defender, for one, he can like shore things up, but he can also make a difference in offensively as well. He scored a goal. He got an assist, didn't he? Sort of an assist, didn't he, for Martinelli's goal against City. He can come on. He can make a difference. And Trossard's another one. It's like we've got match winners now who can come off the bench and win us football matches against big teams. And Tomiyasu and Trossard come into that category. But yeah, no one's more. I mean, VAR yesterday. Every the stop and starts. I mean, it was, it's worse than my stream that I was watching.
It was a bit of a joke, like especially when we scored. When we scored, it seemed like they were making a concerted effort to just be a bit longer with the checks. There was a point in the game before we got the penalty. Was it Eddie that got fouled in the box? I don't know how that weren't a penalty as well.
I'm trying to think of that one.
Who was it that fouled him? I think it was Trusty that actually fouled him. So just before the penalty, I think we should have had another penalty. And they looked at the VAR. And
I
don't know how it wasn't given. I don't know how it wasn't given. And then the Fabio Vieira one came as well. And he spent about 5 minutes looking at that. I was thinking, what are you looking for, mate? I saw that straight away. I knew that was a pen. Saw it once and knew it was a pen in game. And I was like, that's a pen. He's taking him out. He's not got the ball. And then when you saw it in the first replay, he was like, clearly a pen. So I don't know what the referee was looking for.
Yeah, this stop and starting just as I said, when that Nketiah Vieira one, when he took him, it was like that's either a penalty or it's a free kick because I wasn't 100% sure whether it was in or outside the box.
But it was on the line, weren't it? So
but I could, but I could see that the guy's just literally taking his own, coming to the back of his, Achilles there, isn't it? And I thought, well, that's you've got to look at this. And when I see it, it was like, oh, it's pen. So I only had to see the VAR once. I was like, oh, right, yeah, pen.
Yeah.
But he just went on and on and on and on.
And I'm sure they're doing it because it's we've made a couple of complaints. We've had a few digs, and then we've been allowed to have a few digs as well because they've had no foot to stand on. So they're just doing that petty. Oh yeah, we're just making sure we're getting it right. Like, come on, just do your job and do a better job. Just be quicker. All right, there's no need to be pedantic about things. Just get it done. What are you giving Tomiyasu?
7. 7
for Tomiyasu. Fabio Vieira came on and got a goal.
Yeah, well, in the end, he probably was the most
as well.
Won the penalty and scored the penalty. So, arguably the most effective of our substitutions out of the three. But again, I suppose I've got to add Fabio Vieira to the, our bench now. Again, another player who can come on and do stuff. Can get us penalties, score goals, win us football matches. It's a good. We're in a good place to be. We're in a really good place at the moment.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that listening to some Arsenal fans, but I think we're in a really good place. And he's, we said last season we'll give him this season because he must admit he was pretty poor last season. He didn't show much at all. Looked nervous in games, but this season now he seems to be really. We're seeing the best of Fabio Vieira when he comes on, because he seems 9 times out of 10 when he starts or when he plays or when he comes on as a sub, he's making a difference. So I suppose I better give him an 8, better I? for his contribution. I suppose I've given the other sevens. I've got to. You
Does he
obviously
get a nod?
get.
Did he get the nod for Wednesday?
Yeah. The only thing I keep saying, oh yeah, definitely,
Yeah. You've got about 10
definitely.
a.m. centres playing at the moment.
Yeah. It's like two things. That's for one, and it's the other thing is like the gap of days, but they haven't had a lot of game time, so I don't think the Saturday to Wednesday thing's any big deal. Do you know what I mean? They can certainly start again. But no, I mean, what's your team for Wednesday?
We're going to it on Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday. We've got Tuesday, haven't we?
Yeah, but I think obviously Ramsdale goes in goal. I'm probably going to start Tomiyasu in at right back. Kidior left centre. I'd probably play Ben White in at centre back with Kidior, left back Zinchenko, centre mid. I would play Jorginho, Havertz, Vieira, left mid Trossard, right mid Nelson, up top Nketiah.
No Smith Rowe, no? It's like what you said, though, isn't it?
It's a good shout. He did start against West Ham.
There's nothing wrong with that team you just said. It's you'd go, yeah, that do. But then you think, yeah, what about Emil though? But do
you know what? I think we've got a lot of games coming up, haven't we? We've got we've got Newcastle on the Saturday, then it's Sevilla on the Wednesday, then it's Burnley on the Saturday. So
yeah.
And in there, you've got. I think he's resting plans for these two games here. This Newcastle game away from home and this Sevilla game at home.
Yeah,
very important games in our season. Newcastle are a rival, and Sevilla are going to be our biggest, toughest game in that group as well. So we've got to win that game.
By Tuesday comes along, we'll probably completely change their team. But I think because Smith Rowe played, 80 minutes or whatever it was yesterday, I think you're probably right in saying that Vieira's probably the one who's going to more likely one to start.
Yeah,
than
Smith Rowe. That's his second start of the season. The previous one was I think he started in the Carabao Cup, didn't he? So. Yeah, I don't think he's going to start against West Ham. Maybe he'll come as a sub, and yeah, I think you may potentially get that nod for the Burnley game later on next week. So
unless you play Trossard down the middle and Smith Rowe out on the right, give Eddie a rest because he's going to be playing Saturday, isn't he?
Yeah, it's the option. There's the options there. We're going on it Tuesday. We've got the option there. Reece Nelson.
Yeah, probably the quietest out of the substitutions. I think he never really did a lot. Wasn't on for that long. The only thing I could note that he was holding the ball up well in the corner flags a few times. Which is all part of it. We need, not that we needed to hold the ball up in the corner flag 5-0 up, but give him a 6. And
Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, I think it was a 10 out of 10 for Mikel. I thought at the start, he's given players rests. He's brought new players in to give them game time, like Kior, Smith Rowe, Havertz. It was good to see them, playing and again substitutes. He brought players on who did well when they come on. So could have Ramsdale was started. I think we've got to come to terms with the fact that Raz number one, whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. So it looks like he's going to start every league game. All round a good performance. 5-0 clean sheet. Yeah, sitting second in the league. you know, we can sit down now, enjoy Super Sunday with Man City and Man United, not really giving a monkeys who wins. Do you know what I mean? Just go and do whatever you like, boys.
Yeah, do what you want. Do what you want, because we're resting secret out of the top, mate. Don't worry about us, lad. It's going to be a good game today. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I can enjoy some football this afternoon. And it's always good when Arsenal win on the weekend.
City got to win 3-0, I think, and 3-0 to go above us.
Yeah, and we don't forget we've got them mugs down the road as well. Still getting a bit cocky, but we'll see come Christmas if they're still there and thereabouts, and then we can potentially give them some credit and say that they're in this title race. But until we get to halfway through the season,
it's hard to say. Couple of injuries to them, and you know they're in trouble. I mean, look, Maddison's playing well. I must admit, I do like their. I like Van der Ven. I rate him. He's very. He's
and the goalkeeper's good as well.
The goalkeeper's good as well. So again,
he's getting them playing nice football. He's getting them playing nice football.
What I do like about Spurs, which is hard to say, is that you know they brought in a couple of players who you would think, who's that? I don't know much about him. Like the goalkeeper and like Van der Ven. I didn't know much about Van der Ven before he come. The left back looks quality as well. Udogie.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really know. He seems to be turning into a player. Yeah, I don't like to give them this credit, but because it's Spurs.
Bath afterwards.
Yeah, Maddison, a little scrawn.
Yeah, no, I'm getting sick of Maddison. It's because everyone keeps comparing Maddison to Odegaard. It's doing my head in. It's doing my head in. Should have got Maddison. Should have got Maddison. It's like, shut up.
Oh mate, we had all that. We had that before we come, but
mate, we had Maddison, we had Emi Buendia, we had who else did we have that we should have bought instead of Odegaard? Oh, the list is ridiculous. But make sure you join us on Tuesday. It's going to give the preview to the West Ham game. We're going to be focused on that. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the 5-0 drubbing of Sheffield United and go into a little bit more detail, and obviously anything else that has come up about Arsenal. Did you hear about Luis Diaz's family? Got kidnapped last night.
Yeah, man. Yeah. His dad's still missing or something, isn't it? His dad, the mum's got found. I think the mum's back, but the dad's still missing. So awful, mate. Absolutely awful. You know, hopefully they're found.
Well, 100%. If you are new to the show, make sure you press that like and subscribe button. If you are a regular, just press that like, press that share button, and press the copy button. It all helps. Like I said, make sure you join us on Tuesday for the Arsenal show. Peace out, stay safe, and wash your hands. Well, there he goes. It's falling over.